Every year, approximately 60 million people die globally. It is a staggering turnover of humanity that occurs mostly in the background of our daily lives. We often imagine these deaths as the result of a sudden lottery, a freak accident, an unpredictable phantom, or a mysterious new superbug that no one could have seen coming. In reality, the data reveals a far more predictable pattern. Most people passing away today are dying from conditions that doctors and scientists already understand in exhaustive detail. Whether it's the arterial blockages of heart disease or the dehydration caused by contaminated water, the preventative measures and medical cures for our leading killers already exist. The persistence of these deaths suggests that our primary challenge is no longer biological. We have decoded the mechanics of how we die. The current obstacle is understanding why we continue to succumb to problems we have already solved. Chronic killers like heart disease, stroke, and diabetes aren't sudden. They rely on a 30-year incubation zone where damage accumulates. This slow buildup of arterial plaque and rising blood sugar assaults the body for decades before a blockage is felt. Doctors identify these risks years in advance. Routine tracking of blood pressure and cholesterol makes future emergencies highly predictable long before they become life-threatening. While the medical solutions, exercise, better diet, and quitting smoking, are straightforward, they are practically difficult to maintain. Millions die because the long-term discipline required to stay healthy often loses out to the immediate pull of destructive habits. In this personal sphere, mortality is rarely a mystery of medical science. It is the result of a biological system breaking down after decades of ignored alarms. Other major killers exist entirely outside personal choice. Road accidents claim 1.2 million lives every year, requiring a completely different kind of prevention. Traffic fatalities are not random occurrences. They follow specific, measurable patterns dictated by vehicle speed, driver alcohol impairment, and missing physical barriers. Lowering these numbers depends on systemic design. When governments enforce the use of basic restraints and safety standards, the number of accidental deaths drops significantly. We see a similar systemic failure with diarrheal diseases, which kill 1.5 million people annually. Common pathogens cause the body to lose fluids faster than they can be replaced, leading to death within hours. This mass mortality is prevented by mundane engineering. In developed countries, clean water supplies and proper sewage treatment have made these once devastating diseases nearly non-existent. These millions of deaths represent failures in policy and infrastructure. They prove safety is a product of the societal systems we choose to build and maintain. Finally, there are the infectious diseases that we have already defeated in the lab. HIV/AIDS, tuberculosis, and malaria were once global terrors that science has now neutralized. We have the tools. Antiretroviral drugs, affordable 6-month antibiotic courses, and preventative vaccines have turned these former death sentences into manageable or preventable conditions. History reminds us that a lack of access to these treatments was once considered an urgent crisis that demanded immediate global action. Today, the deaths from these diseases are concentrated almost exclusively in specific, low-income geographic zones. The pathogen is no longer the primary killer. The cause of death is now extreme poverty and a lack of local medical access. In this sphere, survival depends on a person's location. We have the scientific answers, but we have created a reality where your birthplace determines if you receive the cure. Our relationship with death changes when we see the links between these personal, systemic, and access-based failures. Most of the world's leading causes of death share a common trait. They require our collective silence and individual complacency to continue. Because we can predict these outcomes with such high accuracy, we are not forced to be passive victims of an unknown fate. We have the opportunity to demand better systems globally, while making the small daily behavioral choices that protect our own health locally. Applying the solutions we already possess would save more lives annually than any yet-to-be-invented technology. Our path to a longer life doesn't require a new scientific breakthrough. It requires the resolve to use the tools that are already on the shelf.